Being joined by Alexis McGill Johnson, who is the president of Planned Parenthood Federation of America. You're not going to be able to hear us till you put your headset on, but we love you. We love you.
Wherever you like.
Wherever you like.
Yay. Alexis McGill Johnson.
Yes, we are being joined by the lovely. So, Alexis, you just were on the floor giving a rousing speech. Talk to us about why this moment is so mission critical for Planned Parenthood and everything that's at stake.
Oh, my. Well, look.
Welcome home.
Welcome home, y'all.
Welcome home, exactly. Look, we have the opportunity to elect the most pro-reproductive freedom ticket this nation has ever seen, right?
Lift your mic. We want to make sure our folks hear you. We got you now.
Yeah, we got you.
Look, we have an opportunity to elect the most pro-reproductive freedom fighter ticket that we have ever seen. And we have been living in a public health care crisis for the last 2 years, right? We are living in a world where 22 states have banned access to abortion, and that impacts over half of all black women living in those states. And so when we have Vice President Kamala Harris, who has traveled around the world, who understands this issue inside and out deeply, and we have a movement that is united and poised around what possibility we could bring in terms of federal legislation. It just feels like we're in a moment where we can really do this, and we know it's also going to energize the party in the base as it has been over the last 2 years.
I have to say, on Monday night, I mean, truly, abortion took the stage. People spoke about their own heartfelt, heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching experiences from the young woman who spoke about being raped by her stepfather. And she was saying, you know, what is so beautiful about having to carry your father's child, essentially. You know, there's a lot of polling data, a lot of conversations that happens around abortion, and they say, oh, X% of people support a woman's right to choose. And I always say, I don't really give a damn how many people support it. The only person that matters is the person whose body it is. We owe our bodily autonomy. Absolutely. So I'm curious for you, because I asked Big Gretch, the Michigan governor, she was on with us earlier about white women and the voting bloc. In Georgia, in 2016, white women outpaced even white men in voting for Governor Brian Kemp, Republican Governor Brian Kemp, who ran on anti-choice, an anti-choice platform. Right. How do you think that crucial voting bloc, who can impact all of our lives, will show up given the change and historic nature of this ticket?
Look, here's the thing. We have seen since the last 2 years, ballot initiatives that have driven kind of participation across party, across race, across demographic, across rural, urban, right? Because it got really personal really quickly. Right? You have, right now, many OBGYNs are leaving states with bans. Mass exodus. Many OBGYN residents are not even matching into those banned states. They are seeing the hurt and the burden, and they have driven these ballot initiatives, right? So that's like kind of our first proof point that we have seen kind of I think a realignment that is possible when you put reproductive freedom at the center and when you center the experiences of the people who are most harmed. Now, our job, you know, at Planned Parenthood Action Fund and other organizations, to actually make the connection between the ballot initiative, the policymaker, and the people who are making the bad policies, right? Because it's one thing to come up and say, yeah, I really want this right in my state, but we also got to remind people that these are the same people who took it away from you in the first place. So, you know, I think white women will have come on reproductive freedom. I think what Donald Trump has put forward and J.D. Vance have put forward in terms of their connection to Project 2025 is terrifying, and we've lived through that. So, you know, that's where the work is.
But we hope they channel the spirit of Shirley Chisholm and not Phyllis Schlafly, but time will tell.
You know, but the other thing I would say is that the upside for this election, this is always going to be a tight election. It was always going to be a turnout game. And, you know, every Democratic candidate since I believe since Clinton has really only maxed out at around 41% of the white vote. We weren't
Democrats lost that vote along, but that's why it's baffling to us that they tried so hard to get it.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. Like it actually is the upside and the energy that we are experiencing for the folks who are being our joyful warriors right now.
Yeah. Did you ever think that you would see a time where women's reproductive rights were so blatantly under attack like now?
Absolutely not. No, I mean, I was born, 5 months after Roe, right? Wow. Or 5 months before, depending on which year I use.
Who are you talking to?
But no.
Like, either way, I still got it.
Right.
Yeah, very much so. Get it?
No, I mean, honestly, Charlamagne, it's not only witnessing the fact that my two daughters who are here, 12 and 15, that they are growing up with less rights,
That's right.
than my 84-year-old mother did. But the fact that they are coming after other things, right? They're coming after IVF. They're coming after contraception. They're coming after no-fault divorce. Wow. I mean, all of the ways in which they can control our bodies, our relationships, our minds, like that's the thing that the kind of going back piece that is so resonant with the Vice President's campaign.
Madam President, can I ask, so Leader Schumer was up here talking about potential reforms to the court.
Yes.
I'd love to know how you all, once we are beyond this November election and hopefully save bodily autonomy, democracy, and all the other stuff that's on the line, can we expect Planned Parenthood, the force that you all bring to the table, to the political discourse, to be engaged on this fight around the courts? And if so, what does that look like? What is the gold standard of what you'd like to see by way of a reform around this haphazard, almost illegitimate in my eyes? I think we can all say that court that is ravaging the Constitution.
Absolutely. I mean, look, so we actually just put out our court reform platform just within the last year or so, right? Because we've always relied on the courts as a backstop for protecting reproductive freedom. We've always focused on that. But, to your point, the illegitimacy of watching these decisions that are blatantly, in our opinion, unconstitutional, come down, and the impact and the horror that we are seeing. So, supporting, first of all, we can start with the easy lift, right? We need some court reform ethics.
That's it.
Right?
With teeth.
We need some ethics. We also need term limits.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah. That's right.
There should not be a lifetime appointment with young justices that are being put in as Chief Justice.
That's right.
To run the table for generations, and in fact, generations to come. So I think those are the things that we, at minimum, we need to start thinking about. I think we need to talk about expanding the court, right? We expand the court in lower district courts all the time, right? I think we did in Florida, right? Yeah, exactly. Right. And so how are we living in a world right now where we've had 9 justices who are completely out of sync with where Americans are in understanding their interpretation of the Constitution?
That's right.
Well, we just want to thank you so much for taking. It's a busy time. I know our viewers at home can't see, but there are people out there watching, and we appreciate the work that you do. You and I have shared the stage a few times, and it's always an honor to have you.
It's also impressive to see. Isn't it crazy that Black women are at the intersection of the biggest fights right now taking place?
And speaking of that, we have